Hi there and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be looking at making potato gnocchi. There's a few critical things that one should always consider when making good gnocchi, which is making sure that the mixture is hot when you make the dough. Don't over mix it, and you definitely don't want to overcook your potatoes. If you overcook your potatoes, your gnocchi will just turn into sort of a glutinous mess and it'll be very unpleasant. I like to bake my potatoes with salt. I tend to find that this is the best way to remove as much of the moisture as possible and give you a fluffier texture to start working with. So once you've scooped your potatoes, you can just crush them with a fork. You don't have to have a ricer. A fork is perfectly adequate. It's important to probably use good quality potato that has like a low moisture content. So once we've crushed our potatoes, we weigh out 200 grams of that. And then we're gonna add in our butter, which is room temperature. And then put in our egg yolk. Here I'm using a scraper because it's easy to kind of just mix everything quite gently without overstretching the potatoes. Like, you don't want to overwork the mixture. Your touch wants to be kind of quite light and quite delicate, and the scraper allows for this. It kind of, you can just sort of manipulate it nicely without stressing the mixture too much, that's supposed to say. Then we add the flour in 2 parts. Again, this is the easiest way to do it. Obviously the potato is still going to be quite moist, but by adding the flour in 2 parts, you kind of like gently sort of bring it up into sort of like the dough stage. Add the parmesan. And we're going to manipulate it again, and you just sort of move it around and it will just come together. And like, you don't have to be forceful with it, it's just like a really light, tender touch. You move it around and you'll be able to feel that it's still quite moist, and what it will do is it will pick up all the flour off the board and just come into like a really nice dough. And then finally we're just going to add the salt to it, give it a last little kind of gentle mix, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next stage to actually make the gnocchi. So now we're going to divide our dough to basically make it into long cylinders, which is the easiest way to portion our gnocchi. We're going to portion it into sort of about 2 centimeter pieces, and then roll it into kind of balls, like an elliptical or sort of like a kind of a ball. You don't want to worry too much about it because you're at home. Dust it with semolina flour. Then we're going to dust the board with semolina flour, and then we're going to start to use our thumb to basically roll the dough down the gnocchi board, and that's going to create our gnocchi. If you don't have a gnocchi board, you can use a fork. You kind of want to find a fork that's got kind of long prongs, so to speak, and then you can roll the gnocchi down the back of the fork. Making sure you've got a good dusting of semolina flour on the gnocchi will help, and you should end up with like quite a nice product. So now we're going to boil our gnocchi. You want to put it into kind of gently simmering water. You don't want to put it into water that's boiling really hard. Like, you know, the gnocchi is quite delicate. It's not that delicate, but you don't want to put it into something that's like a tidal wave in a pan. So you put it into something that's gently boiling, and it will start to cook, and it will start to cook, and then it will eventually rise to the surface. And when it's risen to the surface, you just want to cook it for a further 1 minute, and then it's done. You can pull it out. If you touch it with your finger, you'll feel that it's firm, and then you want to drain it off, and you want to remove as much of the water as possible, and then put it on a tray. So now we're going to make a really quick beurre noisette, or essentially burnt butter sauce. We're not going to take it as far as the point where it's burnt. Basically, as you can see, when it starts to caramelize, you want to kind of pull it off. We're infusing it with garlic and sage. Once you can see that caramelization on the bottom of the pan, you just want to sort of take it off the heat, and then squeeze lemon, finish it with salt, and just leave it to one side. So now we're going to pan fry our gnocchi. It's on about a medium to high heat. You definitely don't want it on a high heat. You want it kind of on a medium to high heat, where it's going to caramelize relatively quickly with a couple of tablespoons of oil in the pan, but it's still controllable. You're going to turn them as they start to caramelize and move the pan around, so you kind of get a good caramelization all over. So essentially it's going to be sort of crispy to a point. And then the easiest thing is to pre-cook all your vegetables that you want to add to it. You can add anything you want. We've added mushrooms, butternut squash, cavolo nero, and a tiny bit of broccoli. And because they're pre-cooked, it's really easy to kind of mix them in, kind of in a restaurant style. So, you know, you prepared the gnocchi, then you put in your pre-cooked vegetables, toss it in the pan, and then we can finish it with our beurre noisette, which we can spoon in there. And then make sure everything is coated. Like, you want to toss that or move it around, mix it with a spatula or whatever. Make sure everything is coated with the sage beurre noisette, and then we're going to plate it. Please like or subscribe or leave a comment, and we hope you enjoy this recipe, and join us next time for our next project. Thanks a lot.